Well guys, it's official. I officially had a red day today, and as sad as it is to see my incredible green streak come to an end, I'm kind of glad that it's finally over with because now I don't have that pressure on my back anymore. It's pretty crazy, man. I had not had until today a red day since April 21st, and that might seem ridiculous, but it's the truth. And today I lost $964. Which, if you compare it to my average green day over the course of that 158 consecutive green day streak, it's about a quarter of what my green days were. So my average green day was a little under $4,000 over that 158 day period. And today I lost $964. So all in all, it's pretty manageable. But in this video, I want to talk about several different things. Number one, I want to talk about how I was able to be green every single day for 158 days straight. Because that's a pretty impressive achievement, if I do say so myself. And I don't think being green every day is the right goal, but I think being consistently green every day can help you to have more confidence in yourself and can really help you. I just hit my computer. Can really help you to get your emotions under control when you're trading. And just knowing that you can show up to the market every day and make money is something that is very calming. I guess it's a very grounding thing. So I want to talk about, number one, how I was able to do that. I also want to talk about what went wrong today and exactly why I ended up having this red day. And then number three, I want to talk about what I'm taking away from this into the future and what lessons can I use from this red day to hopefully prevent stupid things in the future. And the last time I had a really big red day, well, I guess I've only had one really big red day in my life. It was that time I took a $17,000 loss on CCIV back in February. And I had some really good lessons from that have stuck with me until this point. So I'm hoping that, this point can be another good, I guess, wake-up call, another good set of lessons for me to continue to learn and continue to improve on myself. Because, nobody's perfect. I'm human. And I'm here to be transparent with you guys and hopefully share some of my ideas that will help you guys be better traders. So yeah, let's get into kind of how I was able to make so many profitable days in a row. And I do have some notes here just because I want to make sure that I don't miss any of the points that I'm talking about. So I would say the number one thing that allowed me to get to where I am in terms of this many consecutive green days is the fact that I really stuck to what I know. And that might seem, simple. It might seem like a simple concept, but it's really not. A lot of people, especially in a slow, choppy market like this, they get really bored, myself included. And it's very easy when you don't have the setup that you like to trade to branch out and start just trading random stuff. Just literally clicking the button because you're bored. And that is a really, really good way to lose money in the long term. You might get lucky, you might have a trade where you make some money, but overall, on the long term, you're gonna lose money. So we want to avoid that. And I really have been good over the last 150 plus days of sticking to the setups that I'm good at and that I've proven I'm consistently profitable at. So that's one of the main things. Tons of practice. That's another thing. I mean, I have literally been here all day, pretty much every day, for the last year. And that's a lot of screen time. That's a lot of hours. And if I'm looking at just the same thing over and over and over and trading the same types of setups, it's almost impossible not to get a really good grasp of what you're looking at and start to be better at it. Now, if you still haven't found success yet and you've been putting in a lot of hours, in my opinion, it's a matter of time and also making sure that you're very conscious and you're very disciplined in your approach. So you're not just thinking that, because I'm spending time here at the computer, I'm going to get better. It has to be time where you're actually practicing and time where you are putting things into work. The example that I want to give is, if you're practicing for basketball, like NBA players, if they go through these drills at, quarter speed when they're working out, it's not going to help them in a game. They got to really put in the work in practice so that when game time comes around, they've already practiced this stuff at full speed. So it's kind of the same thing. If you get the hours, but you're not really doing anything in those hours of screen time, it's really not going to help you that much. So that's one of the things that I want to talk about. But the biggest thing overall that allowed me to have this many green days is my risk management. And that is probably the number one thing that most people lack as a trader. And in general, my risk management is really, really good because I pretty much just sell as soon as it goes against me. So I'm pretty much never down more than a couple $100 on a position. And That means that, if I have a good win rate and if, there's good risk to reward on some of these trades, it's pretty much impossible when I'm taking hundreds of trades a day to have a red day. Now, the issue today, and I'll talk about that in a second, but issue today comes when I forget about the fact that over time, small losses can add up if you're taking strategies and taking positions and strategies that you don't understand. And I think that was the big thing that happened to me today. But I want to get more into that in just a second. And I think part of also what you need to do in this choppy market, and part of what helped me stay green despite how choppy it's been, in the fall and over the summer, honestly, a lot too, is the fact that I lock in profits. And if I see a trade going against me, if I'm up $500 and it starts going against me, I just take my profits most of the time. And in a hot market, that definitely hurts you. You can't take the same type of size, and there's definitely trades where I end up giving back, maybe not giving back, but leaving profits on the table because something's going down, maybe I'm short, something's running, it dips a little bit and I sell, and then it just keeps running, and I have to rebuy, but I can't get the same type of size, or I get a worse average, etc. And it's easy to get chopped up if you play like that. But if you have a pretty good intuition for where things are going, locking in profits consistently while you have them is a great way of making sure that you're green at the end of the day. And that's something that a lot of people don't do. They go for home runs and they end up striking out. Now, baseball is also something that's commonly used in trading. So I think that's something that's really important. And I think that's part of what has allowed me to be green so many days in a row. So for me, again, it's taken a lot of trades where I have an edge in terms of win percentage, and I have an edge in terms of risk reward. So the combination of those things means that even if by some weird chance, several of my trades go wrong in a row, if I take several hundred in a day, it doesn't matter because both risk reward and the win percentage are on my side. So, if I have a 2-to-1 risk reward on a trade, every win, I'm gonna make 2 times as much as my loss. And if I have a win percentage of 65 or 70%, it's pretty much impossible to lose if you take enough trades. So that's why, if I go through here, that's why I haven't had any red days since April. And this is something that I feel like can help a lot of people, because in such a choppy market, you got to stick to your setups. I think taking a lot of trades helps, but don't get into over trading. Take a lot of trades that are your setup, and don't be afraid to lock in profits and cut those losers, man. Don't add to the losers, especially in a choppy market. So that's kind of how I was able to be green. I want to talk a little bit about what went wrong today. A little bit about, wow, my mouth is not working. A little bit about what went wrong today. So number one is the fact that Schwab just added commissions. So they never had commissions before for OTC stocks. Well, maybe they did back in the day, but as long as I've been with them, they've never had commissions. And just starting this Monday, they added a $7 commission for OTC stocks. So for someone who trades OTC stocks pretty much primarily and is very scalpy, especially in a choppy market, I make hundreds of trades on OTC stocks a day. And so if I'm being charged $7 for every single one of those trades, it ends up taking a huge chunk out of my profits. And not only that, but it also changes the way that I trade, because I end up taking bigger positions to compensate for the fact that I have a commission. So if I'm in the past, I would take a starter position of something and make sure that I got a really good fill. And maybe with that starter position, it would go my way a little bit, and then it would go against me. But I could tell that it was going against me, and I would get out quickly for a small gain. But instead, I take a bigger position. I get a worse fill, because typically when you take bigger positions, you get worse fills. And then when it goes against me, I can't get out. So instead of taking a small gain, I'm taking an annoyingly medium loss plus the commissions on top of that. That's not to say that I can't make profitable trades with commissions by any means, but I think it's just on average. There's plenty of trades where you're break even, where it goes your way for a little bit and then it goes against you and you can get out for break even. Or, maybe it goes against you for a tiny bit and then it comes back and you can get out for break even. Commissions turn those trades into losses. And so it's basically like, if there's like a curve, I don't know, where you have like a plot. And you got a distribution. I don't know if you guys can see this. Some of your trades are profitable, some of them are negative, obviously, but the average is like here. Commissions are gonna lower that average. So on average, your trades are gonna be less profitable. And that's again, because of slippage from bigger size, as well as just the in and out factor of those commissions. And I like to sell in lots because a lot of times you get better fills when you sell in smaller lots on OTCs. Same thing with buying. And you know, because of that, I'm taking bigger size and I'm paying a lot of commission. So that's one of the reasons that it was a little more rough for me today. So it's harder for me to dig myself out of the hole. And me knowing that there's commissions on OTCs, I started trading listed a little bit more. And listed is not my area of expertise. There are listed setups that I can be profitable on, but they're very specific setups. And if I just start randomly buying or randomly shorting a listed stock, I'm pretty much guaranteed to lose over the long run if I'm not sticking to my setups. Because you can't trade a listed stock the same way you can an OTC. You can't buy and then sell the second it goes against you, the second you're negative, because they're just so choppy, especially in this market. So that was, you know, probably the main issue. But I mean, it's a combination of all these different factors. I'm not here to make excuses. But the next thing that happened, which is, you know, again, kind of just came down to luck and me being forgetful, I guess, was the fact that my Stream Deck here, I don't know if you guys can see, these are buttons that I have coded in, and it does a lot of different things. But, you know, one button could press a hotkey and then move a mouse and then click place order, etc. Now, those are coded in, and I have a picture that basically tells me what it is. Unfortunately, I reset my Schwab because I had messed up my desktop. So I like loaded a previously saved version of my Schwab desktop, and it ended up being, you know, a different hotkey set. So I'm thinking I'm shorting a stock here, and it's a completely different hotkey. So I ended up in the morning, I would have had a trade that would have probably net me like $500 or $600, and instead I made, you know, I think like 160 on it, and because of that, that profit wasn't enough to offset my other losses, so I ended up being down like 50 on the day, and then to make back that 50, there were no opportunities in OTC, so I started trading listed, you know, taking 100 shares of something stupid. I lose, you know, 20 bucks. I try to make it back, lose another 20, now I'm down 100, so now I gotta take bigger size. I take 200 shares, 300 shares, and you know, whatever happens, now I'm down 200. All right, well, I'm trying to make that back. Now, you know, I take even bigger size. Oh, I'm back down to 150. Oh, but then now I'm down 300. Now I'm down 400. And it's just like a vicious cycle where you keep scaling up to try to make back those losses, but as you scale up, you become less in control of your emotions, and it turns just more and more into gambling. And in my head, I always think like, all right, I'm just gonna give it one more try and see if this is the time that I'm lucky, and you know, all I gotta do is take 1,000 shares and get 10 cents a share out of it, and then I dig myself out of the hole. Or, you know, I guess, what, 5,000 shares and get 10 cents a share out of it, and I dig myself out of the hole. And that is really, really dangerous thinking because, you know, you're likely to take losses doing that over the long run. Even if you get lucky one time, that strategy is not gonna serve you in the long run. And, you know, as a trader, the most important thing is the long term, because no one trade defines you, no one day defines you, no 1 month defines you. So if you're not building habits that are gonna make you profitable long term, you're setting yourself up for failure. And I realized this today because I've done that several times where, you know, I'm taking stabs at listed stocks on setups that are not for me. So that's something that I'm gonna work on in the future, moving forward. Also, I even said this morning, but I had a goal of being green today. I just wanna take it easy and I wanna be green. Being green, while it's not a horrible goal, that's not the point. You know, the goal of being green, I honestly don't think it is a good goal. Obviously, yes, we are traders to make money, but having a goal of being green is putting your eyes on the wrong target. Your target should be to take the setups that are likely to make you money over and over and be okay with the results. So if you're down 50 bucks on the day and you start gambling, taking ridiculous size on random choppy listed stocks, trying to make back 50 bucks, and it turns into an almost $1,000 loss, that just doesn't make any sense because the goal, again, it's not to be green. The goal is to take these setups that will make you money in the long run. And if you do things to try to get back to green that don't make you money in the long run, that does not make any sense whatsoever. And that's what I realized today. So that's kind of frustrating. And yeah, it just turns into a death by 1,000 paper cuts. And that's one thing that, you know, I'm good about in terms of not taking one big loss all at once. Like I would never short something or buy something and let it go, you know, 500 negative on me or 1,000 negative on me in one position. But the thing is, you don't realize if you keep taking the same stupid trade over and over with smaller size, it can turn into the same size loss, if not worse, if you keep going at it again and again and again, if you have no edge there. So that's something that you really got to consider and make sure you avoid that. The last reason was kind of the fact that, I'm trying out new brokerages right now, and I've got a lot of them, man. I just opened a Cobra, I just opened a TradeStation, and I'll be honest, I literally could not figure out how to sell one of my positions on TradeStation for like 5 minutes as the stock was going against me. So again, that's not an excuse. I probably should have learned better. I thought I understood the platform, but apparently I did not well enough at the time. So it's just a combination of factors. And also with Cobra, I was able to get locates on this hard to borrow stock, ENSC. I believe that's what it is. Yeah, ENSC, this stock. So, I got locates at Cobra, and because I got locates, I was like, ooh, I should short this because I have locates and I couldn't have gotten them at Schwab and I have them at Cobra, so let me just try it. I ended up shorting here, was gonna cover there, but then somehow didn't, and ended up covering it high a day, and then took another stab at it here, or maybe here, was up again, and then got stopped out at high a day on this huge, I literally covered it like 307 here. It literally dumped the second I covered, and honestly, I'm not here to make excuses, but this is just not a setup that I should be trading. Honestly. So I'm making some rules for myself going forward, and I think they're gonna help me out. So number one, I am not going to short low float runners like this on day one unless they're up over 500% and they've gone fully supernova and they're gonna down halt. That's pretty much the only circumstance in which I would want to short one of these on day one. ORPH, this is a really good example. If I go to the 1 year chart, you can see here, this thing just went insane. I wish I could show you the intraday chart. I probably could. Where is it? What day was this? June 10th. Yeah, let's go to June 10th, just so you guys can see real quick. June 10th, right here. This is the only chart that I want to be shorting. Once this thing goes into a down halt and it's up, 1,000% on the day, that's the type of low float runner that I want to short on day one. Anything else, that choppiness, it's just not for me because I'm going to hold, I'll try to be patient, and then I'll get stopped out at high day, and it's just going to happen over and over again. I'm going to take too many paper cuts, too many losses from that. So that's not something I want to do. Also, I want to make sure I stick to my setups, but walk away on choppy days like this if there's literally nothing for me to trade. Like, I fall into the trap of board trading a lot of times. And part of that's because I'm there for the Discord for you guys most of the day. But if I'm sitting at my computer, it's pretty likely that I'm gonna make a trade. It's hard to sit there for 30 minutes or an hour and not make any trades. So maybe I start watching some Netflix, or I know a lot of really good traders actually do game while they're trading to help distract themselves unless there's actually a good trade. So I might start doing that again. I might whip out the old RuneScape account again. But whatever I'm gonna do, I gotta make sure that I stop doing this. I stop taking trades that are not part of my setups and part of what have made me successful. And if I study and learn some new setups and want to test them out, that's totally fine. But literally just blindly clicking buttons, it's not a recipe for success. I also want to recognize the scaling up revenge trading cycle and how to avoid that and stop it early. I got to stop thinking just one more trade because this is the one that's going to bring me back to positive. And I do that with bigger and bigger size every time. I got to stop doing that. And I've done that, several times. And I know intrinsically when I'm doing it, but I still haven't stopped doing it in the past because I still think maybe one more trade is just going to get me back positive. And it's the same reason that you cut your losses. You could short something that's going up, that's up 200, 300% on the day, and great, maybe you'll win 98% of the time if you hold that for a couple days. But all you need is that one time where that stock keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and you're screwed. Which means that over the long run, if you keep doing that and you don't cut your loss, you're going to blow up your account. And this is the same type of thing. Maybe, yes, I can get back to break even some days by gambling like this, but over the long run, it's not a winning strategy. So I want to make sure that I stop doing that. I also want to learn and listen to strategies better. I want to start swing trading more. And maybe that's what I use this TradeStation account for. Kulamagi is such an amazing trader, and I really haven't started implementing his strategies at all on anything except for ENPH that one time, and then I had to cut it short because Schwab was really annoying. If I go here, yeah, you can see, I longed it on this day right here, and I ended up selling it right there. And I knew that I was supposed to hold it longer. It was just Schwab's unrealized and realized cost basis made it really hard for me to compute my day trading profits. So I don't want to swing trade in the same account that I used to day trade in. But you know, this would have been an amazing trade, and I took small size on that thing, man. I took small size on that. So that's something that I want to be better about. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. So I think just avoid setups I'm not good at, study to learn the setups, and then start to implement them, and recognize this, you know, the cycle of gambling to try to make back those losses and taking bigger and bigger size on these revenge trades on choppy listed stocks, and be able to walk away, you know, if it's not working out for me. You know, have that mental stop loss. You know, recognize when I'm getting myself into that cycle. So I think that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, please drop a like or drop a comment. I know you can't see the dislike button anymore, so it feels like likes don't matter, but I still appreciate them for sure. If you made it to the end of the video, it's a pretty long one, so I guess let me know if you've ever cracked your phone screen. I cracked this, and it's well, not my screen protector, but hopefully I'm getting my new phone soon. But yeah, I just cracked it for the first time pretty recently, and I don't know. I know a lot of people who crack their phones a lot, but I'd never really done it before until recently on the screen protector. So if you guys crack it a lot, let me know. If not, also let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in Discord. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, let's grow better together.
Bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.